microphone's
All
working.
right, bet. All right, bet. But if it gets too dragged out, we'll just drop it, like informal
Okay.
kind of.
Can you
Yeah,
do
sure.
that?
Okay. So, do you want to start? Or do you want me to start?
Yeah,
Or
sure.
I'll start since I'm taking the. It's more of like it's not like a kind of like an agnostic position. Are you fine with that? Are you fine with that?
You take an agnostic position,
Kind of, yeah.
like you don't really care, like you don't
Yeah,
really,
pretty
like you're not
much.
sure.
Yeah, that would be like kind of default to pro-choice,
I mean,
right?
yeah, it's basically default because
Yeah,
it's not
it would.
like
Yeah,
like
the
an in
same way
between
like
kind of thing.
yeah, like atheism is kind of like the default, just So what I'm saying is
No,
like
no,
yeah,
no, it's not the same as atheism. I think it's kind of like redundant because either you like support life or you don't. I don't think it's like a middle. Like you kind of support it, you kind of don't.
No, my position is like,
You know what I mean?
I'm not, I don't know anything on the topic, and I just want to know why I should. That's all I'm saying.
All right,
You know?
bet that's fine.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I feel you.
Okay. Yeah, so that's basically the position. I don't know anything on the topic. Why should I?
Oh, why should you? So would
Yeah.
you agree that the main? All right, so if you saw like, I'll just give you an analogy to start off. So if you saw a human walking, like a figure that looks like a human, right?
Yeah.
You're like half sure, like you think it might be a human, you think it might not be a human, right? And you're driving on the road. Would you stop or would you keep going and like risk killing a human?
I mean, I'd probably stop, right?
So you would stop if you saw this thing that might be human or might not.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So if after you answer this analogy, right? So that
Yeah.
means you lean more to the side of life, correct? Like if you're not
I
sure,
lean forward. To like a
like
adult human being, yeah, I like I put value on adult human beings.
yeah, but like right now we're talking about like human being or not, like you're human or you're not, like you know what I mean. So what I'm asking you is
Oh,
like this thing
are
is
you
a
asking
human.
me
You're not
whether I?
sure. Yes, let me finish. So you're not sure it's a human, but you're not sure that it's not a human. So you stop because it might have been a human, right?
No, I stop because
That's
it's a thing.
no. Like when I brought up the analogy, you stop because it's a human or it might not be a human. That's like the
Oh
analogy.
no! I said I'd stop, but not because it might be a human. I stop because I value a life.
No. Like how about just an object? It could be an object or a human.
Oh, I'd stop because it's human, or it could be
I
human.
said
Yeah.
could be a human. All right, there we go.
Yeah. Yep.
So if something can be a human, you don't want to
Harm it.
more swing towards that, right?
Yeah.
All right, so you'd agree that the main contention with abortion is that whether this fetus is a human or not, right?
Yeah.
So if that's the main contention, which you already agreed to, that means there's a lot of hazy area with this thing being a human or not. And if you be consistent with your logic, then you should side with it being a human, because when you're not sure, you swing to the side of life rather than not.
No,
Rather than
I
the
just
side
don't.
of
I just don't think it has the qualities that makes me value a human. That's all.
so you think there's something like different, like you
Sentience.
value maybe. So what attributes would you value more? Because this is like your standard human, like has
Sentience.
consciousness,
Yeah, sentience.
advanced introspection, sentience. Yeah, that human that in that analogy had sentience.
Yeah.
Would you still
What
stop?
I'd value sentience. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, you value sentience, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so this human that's walking
Yeah.
has sentience. Is that fine? Because like it's just your normal human.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so you wouldn't kill this thing because it doesn't have sentience.
If it has sentience, I wouldn't kill it.
So something has sentience, you wouldn't kill it.
Correct. I would prescribe moral value to something that has sentience.
Okay, so you prescribe more moral value to a pig versus a human baby who may or may not have these attributes, because that's what's like the barrier for you. And when you're not sure, you swing more to the positive side, the side that it does have these attributes.
Are you
So
trying
I'm
to say I
gonna
value a pig more? What you're saying?
well, because these pigs have sentience, right? And you said that the thing that stops it,
I think a
the
baby has
thing that
sentience too.
okay, so if the baby has sentience too,
Yeah.
okay, then what's the problem?
What do you mean? There is no problem. You just gave me an analogy saying, so you would take the pig over a baby who would not have these values, and I say I don't think they wouldn't have. Maybe in like a
Yeah,
really
yeah, okay,
garish
okay,
world hypothetical,
yeah, yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
but I don't
Yeah,
think it
I'll like
does.
circle back then. So you stopped when you weren't sure if it was a human or not. So you side
Correct.
with if there's contention, you side with a human life, and you side with saving it versus killing it.
Correct.
All right. And even if it's convenient to you to keep going, the fact that you know it may be a human life,
Hmm.
you stop because you side with life.
Yep.
All right. So if you do that, right, when you have this abortion, you've already agreed that there's contention
Yeah.
around it, around the point whether this fetus is a human or not. And in the past analogy, you've shown that you side with something being a human versus not
Oh,
a human.
I understand where this is going, and I already have disagreements with it, and I'll explain. In the previous
All
one,
right.
it's either it's just a human baseline. It's not like a fetus. It's like a human. A normal human would have sentience, or it's just an object. Of course, I would take precaution and stop. I would hope any reasonable human being would also do that, right? So that's that. What I know from fetuses, seen no proof that like let's say like 3 month or 3 week old fetus like they have sentience. I see like no proof of that. Actually, there's proof that they gain sentience in the third trimester. Actually, if I'm recalling correctly, I don't have like studies to show you, but
Yeah, but if they do, as you've said, that's fine. But like you haven't agreed to like a certain limit. Just like abortion
yeah.
in general, like if it's in the womb, you can kill it.
My position is pro-life would necessitate that you think any abortion is wrong. Pro-choice would necessitate that abortion is fine. If my position is saying it's not fine after the third trimester, that's still consistent with my position. It
How
would
is
be
that considered your position? It just
because
means that you're fine with abortions. So if your position is you're pro-choice, you're pro for the choice of being able to kill this baby throughout any trimester. You didn't
no.
like if you want to like establish this, you have to like say
Oh,
that before the fact.
oh well, I
You
mean,
have to be
I
like,
I think it's somewhat irrelevant because I think my position, you could like, if I took that, if you just like, I could just say, okay, that's now my position. This would still cause issues with yours. So we both have issues with our positions, right? Because you haven't convinced me that I should care, since I value like sentience.
yeah, you value sentience in a fetus in the third trimester has sentience.
Yes.
Okay, and at that point, your position says it's fine to kill it.
No, my position. Well, I mean, if we're taking that route, yes. If we're taking the route of, I think any abortion is fine, correct. But then that would also, your position would be that no, abortion is never justified. You don't think abortion is all right. So that would also cause inconsistency and issues with your position as well.
So can you please point out the inconsistencies?
Yeah. So pro life would be that abortion is wrong and it shouldn't happen. But the only thing you're pointing out is the position that it would be fine up until the third trimester. You haven't like pointed out why that wouldn't be the case. So if we just stop it right here, um, we'd end it with an inconsistency on, well, I'm kind of steelmanning. It wasn't actually my position, but if we just say it is, like my steelman position would be that like I think any abortion is wrong, and the inconsistency would be the fact that I think it's right after the third trimester. Your position would be that um, or I mix that around. Sorry, abortion is right. Your position would be abortion is wrong, so it's wrong. But then which we're still at the point of it's fine pre third trimester. So
Yeah, basically all I'm saying is that the pro-choice position. Hold on. All right, so if you don't like we don't presuppose that you eliminate trimesters, right? So you have to like make this clear before you start the debate. Like I don't assume like we just leave out a trimester. You know what I mean?
yeah, maybe it would have been a better idea to communicate to you, but I still don't think it matters because
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a chill debate anyway, so I don't even
yeah,
care.
yeah,
So yeah,
but
I'll just
yeah.
let you have it.
Yeah, so even going forward, I'll just like steelman that. Even going forward, with like if I go forward with that position, you'd still have an issue convincing me. Otherwise, like your position, I'd still be able to like
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah, yeah. Of
abortions
course, I
morally.
still need to bring it up because then
Yeah,
I need to show you why these things are valuable.
yeah. So do you want to like move on to that then?
I mean, if you want to, because that means
Yeah,
that would mean you have a disagreement with sentience being valuable at all.
I think sentience is valuable. Do you have any like arguments to like say why it's we shouldn't abort babies like before they have sentience before the third trimester?
Sure.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah, we'll go that route instead of like you having to disagree with
That is, yeah,
sentience
no.
being intrinsically valuable. Yeah, that's just right.
I
That's
do
just like a
I do think it's intrinsically valuable. That's why I think
yeah,
that's
yeah,
like
yeah. But before the debate
not
next time, you
fair.
gotta like assert that
Probably that would be a better idea,
because
correct? Yeah.
if I was being ratty, I would have been like, fuck that.
Well,
All right,
even if
I'll
you
just
were,
pull up.
yeah. Yeah, okay.
I'll just pull up. Sure, hold on. So is it only sentience that you deem to be value of,
Moral value, yes.
and why is that?
It's what I think gives like would you agree that like the existence of the moral compass within humans, would you like acknowledge the existence of it? That typical humans have the internal moral compass. That's what we call morals. Like if we kill someone, we just feel like and we intuit that it's wrong.
I don't believe that morals are like objective kind of.
That no, that's fine, but like you can say like they're not objective, but you would agree that like everyone has like a general guidepost, like just internally. That everyone has some sort of moral compass, unless they have some sort of like disability or deformity, which would classify them as abnormalities, such as like sociopaths or psychopaths. Every normal functioning human has some sort of internal moral compass, correct?
I'd say that some of them, yeah. Like I'm not sure the exact numbers, but it just depends on like your
If you're not a
like where
sociopath,
you're
yeah.
growing up. Like
If you're not a
not it's not
sociopath or
necessarily
psychopath, not necessarily. Okay,
like
yeah,
let's say like I'm an Aztec, right?
yeah,
I assigned like my entire like moral compass is just based on things that don't entail anything nowadays. Like I'd only value you if you were this or that. Like I wouldn't mind killing my neighbors because they don't have this bloodline that I share because I was culturally raised that way. And I'm
that's
culturally raised to like to just like support my family. Like I can pull that up. Like they value their
okay.
family over
This is
anything. So
a little non sequitur to what I was going to prove. Point being, I just value it. I think that's what makes me. If I see a
yeah,
sentient
yeah,
thing
yeah,
die, it makes me go, "Aw," you know. That's literally it. Like I don't like killing sentients. I think it values. I think that's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. All
thing
right, that's
that
fine. That's fine.
maintains a consistent position
All right.
morally.
So and what about sentience makes it intrinsically valuable? I mean,
Uh,
yeah.
it's itself the ability to comprehend your own existence, the ability to know you exist, the ability to make decisions.
So
Sentience,
this
the package.
comprehension to you is valuable because it
It's
you
just
just
sentience. Yeah, be able to like acknowledge your
all
own
right, all right,
existence and know you exist.
all right. So if I'm in a coma and I'm not aware, like you lose sentience. You don't maintain sentience while you sleep. You don't know who you are while you sleep at that exact moment. So if I'm sleeping, right? Am I is are you allowed to kill me?
I think you're already capable of sentience, just subconsciously.
So why does like capability entail
Cap-
that? Like why does that matter?
capability, because you've already
So
achieved sentience, right? That's
all
why.
right, so if I've achieved like becoming a millionaire and I lose all the money, do I still like have the same like respect and
Moral?
priority like as a millionaire would? Like
That's not analogous, not to my position at least. Because the normal answer to that would be
all right, all right, all right, all
obviously
right, all right.
no.
So how this? Let's say you have like a millionaire club, right?
Sure,
And when you join this millionaire club, you get this. You have to be a millionaire in this club, and when you do, you get this like credit card, right?
sure.
If I lose all my money, I don't get to keep that credit card because I'm no longer a millionaire,
Yep,
right? So when you're no longer sentient, you're not sentient, and you
correct.
can't just say like you can't arbitrarily just say like, oh well, you already have it just to like keep consistency or try to.
I think you
You have to
definitely
have like
could.
a reason.
I think you definitely
I
could.
don't think you could
In my position,
because I think a
you
better way
would.
to say it is more like you have the potential to be sentient again.
Yeah, I don't really
That's
value the. Yeah, I'm not gonna go down
I
like the
mean that's
potential
basically
argument
what
for
it
the fetus.
entails. Like
Yeah,
that's
but
basically
actually,
like that's a better way to say it. Like you
no,
have the
I would say
possibility
like
to become sentient again.
I think that would be the case. I think there was a bar that needs to be met though. I think like once you've achieved sentience, that's the bar. For the same
What?
reason that you're like said it. Wait, what do you mean? What's confusing about
So
that?
you're saying that like once you reach sentience,
Once you
you
achieve
have to reach it
sentience, yeah.
first. You have to reach
Yeah.
it first, right?
Yeah, I have no issues
And
with like
why would that be the case?
I don't know, I think that's like the morally correct thing to do because I think it's morally wrong to kill like a sleeping person, but I don't see anything wrong with like killing a fetus. don't see anything wrong with that. So I'm just making a consistent
Well,
position based off my
your
moral
position is like
system compass.
you value sentience, and when you sleep, you no longer have sentience.
Yeah, wait.
See, the problem is when you have to start making these like this like, oh, we have to, well, you already have this. When you have to start making like all these criteria, that's when it starts becoming like hazy, and that's when like
What's wrong with
your
that?
precision starts to become like inconsistent.
I don't think it's inconsistent. Wait, what's wrong with adding like
I mean,
additional
not accident, my fault. I
context?
mean like more like shady and not as thorough and
Maybe it's not as
well.
thorough as like a single one fits all. Maybe it's not as like thorough as you'd like it to
All
be
right.
when you have a moral
Well,
system that's like
hold on.
mhm,
Instead of thorough, I'll just say as like
consistent.
no, I can't. Hold on, close my door. All right. Well, when you start making these criteria, it just becomes like less things. Like there's no reason to say that. Like there's nothing supporting that. Like it's kind of just like you've arbitrarily just like added that in to keep
Aren't wait
a more consistent line of logic to your
aren't like all
conclusion.
morals though like that? Because you could say that about anything. Like if someone values like just a human being, they value personhood, you can say, well, that's just an arbitrary value. If someone like values imposition of
No.
will, things.
I'm not saying like you can like. I'm not saying these things are arbitrary. I'm saying that adding like criteria to these like when you no longer have it, then you no longer have it. That's what I'm saying. So when you do have it, you have it. That's how things work. When you're a
Yeah.
millionaire, you have $1 million. When if you're no longer a millionaire, you still don't have $1 million.
Yeah, but like given like
Even though
how
you
you
like
understand
you
what I'm
became
like
a
doing with
millionaire.
my position, right? You like understand how I'm forming my position, right? I have like this internal moral compass. So like I hear an issue and I just click, like that's right, that's wrong. I just intuit it, I feel it inside of myself. So I'm just creating a moral position based off what I feel. And what I feel is that like I don't see any issue killing fetus. Yeah.
And more positions can have like problems with them and
They definitely
inconsistencies.
can, yeah. But what I'm
I mean,
doing here is I'm just
I
creating
don't
a
think like
consistency.
saying that like justifies your position like any more or less. Like
I as long as it
what I
isn't
think the
as
problem
long as
is,
it
right?
isn't inconsistent, that's fine.
So when you have to like start making these criteria, it just means that your position isn't strong enough to the point where it's where you have to start making like these certain things you have to meet. Because when you have to start making these, it just means that there's problems with it not being the case. So when things don't have sentience, which happens constantly, you're just arbitrarily saying that, oh well, they've had it, okay, and
Okay, here's what I
well,
could do. If you
even though they've had it, they still don't have it. It doesn't
yeah,
change the fact.
here's what we could do. I don't see any issue with adding context. I think moral systems could have like multiple parts. I'll give you an example. Typically the position I take is like imposition of will is a moral as well. Like I think like what prescribes you moral like what is it? Consideration would be sentience, or I'll explain further on. The achievement of sentience would be a better wording of it. And then like what like makes like killing someone wrong would be like imposition of will. With that moral system, it'd be like what makes something wrong is you imposing on their will. What makes something right is like aiding their will, right? There could be like a two-part system to a moral system, and there's no wrong like adding like a context. So if you say like, well, you kill someone and
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
imposing upon their will, but you say, oh, it's justified because like they were trying to kill me first, that would be me adding context to that moral system, but it would still like be a good moral system, right? That still justifies it, even if it's like another part adding on to the moral system. That doesn't change the consistency of it.
Yeah, but there's justification though, and the justification being that you are trying to get killed. Over here, you're just saying that okay, well, you have to achieve it just to support, just to like say it so that you can keep consistency. Like, but
Well, not
the
really.
difference is right when you say like someone's killing you first, that's the reason to kill them. That's your justification. There's no, and that's why like I don't
Yeah,
think
and
it's a good
the
equivalence if I'm being
justification,
honest.
well, I'm not even like equivocating. I'm just letting you know, like you can add context and second parts and thirds and fourth and whatever, infinitely upwards. Maybe not, but like you
You
get
can
the
add
gist.
context, but it has to
Yeah,
be good context, and that like it
I feel
can't
that's
just
a
be
good context.
arbitrary context.
I feel like that's good context.
I mean, I don't think just saying like, oh well, they've already achieved it is like enough context.
Wait, I feel like that like meets the bar as like anything else, right? You're kind of just saying
No,
like,
no, but like, here's the difference, right? So with the murder example, right? Like they've tried to take your life because
correct.
they've tried to infringe on you.
And
That's the
they've achieved
justification.
sentience. Yep.
There's no infringement by just saying that. We're just arbitrarily saying like I've achieved sentience,
I don't
so
think there
I'm
needs to be
immune to
infringement.
everything else. I think there does because that's not consistent. That's not like justified. Like
Wait, but I'm not using that moral system in this instance. I'm just saying that that was like an example of a moral system that has
Yeah,
multiple moving
yeah,
parts
I
and
get
still
that, but
good and consistent.
yeah,
I'm
but
not saying that's like my moral system in this case, right?
my problem is with you just saying like they've achieved it, therefore they're an exception. But like, okay,
Mm-mm.
and why should them having achieved it, keep them? Hold on. All right. So
Mhm.
what I'm asking is like, why would them achieving it, like they still don't have sentience? That's the main problem. So the thing is, right? So with your example, like, let's say I'm like you're gonna die, right? And if I don't allow you this thing, right, you're gonna
Mhm.
die. That's why
Sure.
it's like, because if I don't let you to kill someone, they're trying to kill you, then you're gonna die, right?
Yeah, and I'm
That's
just
what the
giving
justification
context.
is.
Yeah, the justification for it being
Okay,
wrong is the
okay.
fact that I value sentience, and I think imposing on it when you've
Yeah, yeah,
already
yeah.
achieved sentience
Okay,
is
so
wrong.
and I don't have sentience at that moment,
You've
and
already
you're
achieved it.
only justifying like this one group of people who've achieved it, not
Yes,
like
really is a generalized group of people because you could say the same thing about sleeping. Believe it or not, I'm not just saying this to bullshit you and say, oh, Mars are subjective. I can say anything, be consistent. I didn't brought it up because it wasn't relevant, but that was a genuine part of my moral system. It's the same reason why in this moral system you don't kill sleeping people because they've already achieved it. I'd hope you realize like of course I'd have thought that through, right? Like of course I would have like thought that through and say, that's probably that's probably an issue I should address, which is why like that's been a part of this moral system. I just didn't brought it up until now. It's not me bullshitting you, right?
the problem is with me. I'll just say that one more time, that we can move on. Go stack nausea again.
Damn, bro, you
Yeah.
But
cooking that food up. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Yeah, what are you eating? That sounds good as shit. I need to go get me something.
chicken wings, bro.
Bro, oh my
Golly.
god, I need to go get something, bro. That sounds so good.
I'm
Quit
sorry I had
smacking
to do
your
you like
fucking
that.
lips, bro. Oh my god.
Yo, bro, is it busting?
Should I
This
get the
isn't
buffalo
busting.
sauce or not?
Yeah,
I'm
bro,
getting that buffalo sauce.
I have Chick-fil-A sauce in my fridge. I'm gonna fuck it up later. Some chicken nuggets or some shit. I don't know.
I shit you not, bro. I was just so hungry one day. I just started putting Chick-fil-A sauce on bread, and I was just
Dude,
going
it's
crazy.
so good. It's dumb. It's so good. It has no right to
Yeah.
be that good. Okay. Yeah, so do you
It's
wanna like
it,
say your
it's
position again? And we can like move on.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't remember where I was. Hold on.
I know. Oh.
Oh yeah. So at the end of the day, they're not sentient. They don't have sentience, and this man doesn't have sentience. That means you don't value things without it. And if you don't value things, that means that you value achieving sentience, right? That's basically your position.
Yeah, better way to word it. If you want to like structure both parts into a singular thing, yes.
All right. This is like informal. I'll just move on.
Okay.
So you value this like having achieved it, right?
Yep.
Hold on, close my door. So you value the achievement of it, right? So do you think that something without it holds any moral consideration?
Mm, depends on like do other people with probably not. Probably not, no.
So absolutely none. Like it's perfectly fine to just murder all of them.
I couldn't make a blanket statement in good faith. I needed to know like what you're referring to problem by problem, but
So
for
let's
the
say I have
most
all
part,
these
that
like
sounds right.
let's say I have all these beings with like let's say I have like a bunch of humans lined
Mm-hmm.
up and they haven't like they look like humans, they just haven't achieved sentience yet.
Yeah.
They haven't reached it, but like they're about to. Like in 1 second, they're going to achieve sentience. Do you slaughter all of them, a million of them, or do you let them wait that second and become sentient and meet your criteria?
Are you going to the potentiality argument?
I guess yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, no, I don't see any issue just killing them.
Oh God.
Wait, no, wait. I
Oh,
genuinely feel that's not an absurd position. I don't feel like maybe some people might disagree with me, but I feel like it wouldn't be like a large portion that would like
All right, all
not
right.
agree with me.
I have a better analogy. So it's not time constrained.
Yeah.
So say I have 1 million people, right? And
Sure.
no, actually we have 3 trillion people, and they're gonna take a step forward and achieve sentience. Like they all have like a square in front of them, right? And if they
Mhm.
take the step forward and get in the square,
Yeah.
they achieve sentience.
Sure.
But there's a glass wall in front of them,
Yeah.
and gas is like coming in. Do you lift the glass wall and let them come, or is it
Mhm.
perfectly?
It's
Is it
I say
morally wrong?
I say it's morally fine to not open the door. I'd probably personally do it, but I don't think like anything's like morally wrong with just not doing it.
I mean, this debate's like kind of subjective too. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's
Well,
informal.
yeah, I guess if you want to go down that route, then I mean, I probably would because I'm a nice guy. Because it would probably matter and make people
Actually,
happy.
no. I wouldn't want to do
But
like that. Never mind. So just keep
yeah,
arguing the way you're arguing.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's just
So
get.
yeah,
All right. I'll make it better. Like so we have these millions of people. Like they want to take a step forward. Like they're about to take a step forward, and like you have this thing, right?
yeah.
And you
Sure.
can just hit the button, and they all blow up. All 3 trillion of them. But like they're taking their step, and they're about to get sentience. And when they hit this box, they're gonna get sentience. But you blow them all up. So it's morally fine to blow them all up.
I don't see an issue with that.
All right.
I
So
genuinely do not see an issue with that. Yeah.
So now I'll bring you something else, right? So let's say I have a time machine, right? And those 3 billion people, you let them take the step and they achieve sentience. But I reverse time 1 second. So we
Mhm.
know they're gonna achieve sentience. You
Yeah.
still blow them up?
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah.
All right, so now we've asserted that they are literally going to have sentience when they take that step.
Yeah, I don't care if they're
And it's
going to
morally
have it.
permissible to just blow them up.
Yeah, I don't see any issue with that. Like genuinely, they're literally just rocks until they achieve.
Oh God.
They're rocks with a human body. They're a prop. They're a movie prop. Like it doesn't matter.
All right, that's fine.
That's
Where
like
do I go
saying
with
like
this?
we have like a doll, we have like a mannequin for a movie. Do you get like hypothetically if it was gonna achieve sentience and like tense like would you care? Like no, I don't care. It's a fucking movie prop.
Yeah, this is why because normally like when you do like a pro-life photo, it's like in front of an audience, and you don't want to look like a fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like normally, yeah, but
Yeah,
now it's
no.
just like straight consistency.
I mean, not even that. Like that's like I would do this in front of an audience. I don't feel like this is a absurd position. I genuinely feel like this is fine.
Wow, Doge. Shaking my head, man.
There's nothing wrong with this.
I didn't know you were like that. I'm not gonna lie.
What the fuck?
All right, how much? Let me think. So, how would we judge this though?
I was able to maintain my agnostic position.
Oh, so what's that one fallacy? It's like reducio ad absurdum or something, right?
Reductio. Yeah.
Reductio ad absurdum. Yeah.
Yeah, but like that would be like absurdity, but I don't feel like that's an absurdity.
All right. And why is sentience so valuable to you? Because you can experience the world, right?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I just intuit moral consideration sentience. I just say, hey, I like sentience, so I make a moral system.
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just gonna continue the thing I was doing earlier because this is normally how I win the debate.
Okay.
So these people that are sleeping can't do this either. And like
Yeah,
so when they're sleeping, they meet absolutely none of the criteria to life, but because they've achieved it, you think they do.
Yeah.
So if you achieve something, it doesn't mean that you get to aid in the achievements of it. If you no longer like have the necessary qualities for it. Like let's say I'll give you an example. Like if I'm viable for healthcare, right? And I'm in this certain criteria for healthcare, so I get money from the government.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. I'm impoverished. I need money, so I get money from the government. After I get enough money for my job, I no longer need this money. So the government, because I no longer meet this criteria, I can't keep getting money. Because if you don't meet the criteria for something, then you shouldn't just be able to get the benefits from it or the consideration from it from simply having been in it. These people
True.
and these people, they were sentient, but now they're not. They don't identify with people that are sentient. They no longer are sentient. So if we keep this consistency, that means that these people who are sleeping don't have sentience, and it's fine to kill them.
Yeah,
So
but it's more like it's kind of a really roundabout, weird way to address it. But it'd be more analogous to say, do you get like a badge or something? You get a badge if you get $1 million, right? Do you still keep the badge if you spend that $1 million? Like, yeah, you'd still keep the badge.
So here's the problem with that. So now you're saying that if you get this badge, so can I lose this badge?
No.
All right. So if I, so this is the problem with the bad analogy, right? So if I can't lose the badge, that means that no matter what, through that analogy, no matter what I do, I hold more moral value than anything. So if I've killed an infinite amount of people, and that means that this person who hasn't achieved sentience has less consideration than me. That's what it would entail.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm this human, and you're aware that you can lose more consideration as a human, right?
That would depend on context.
All right.
Sometimes,
So now we're gonna shift to like. Now I'm gonna shift to like why you can lose value. All right. So if you kill someone, right? You're aware that like when you do you agree with like when you do wrong things, like punishment fits the crime, right?
Probably, yeah.
Probably, like, just yes or no. Do you agree with like a punishment should like fit the crime?
Sure.
All right. So if you agree with this, right? And what is proper retribution for killing an entire for doing what Hitler did? Let's say Hitler. What is proper retribution for him?
I have no clue. I couldn't say.
Death penalty. I mean, is death penalty an adequate punishment? Do you have any contention with that? Because if the punishment, like you agree, the punishment should fit the crime. Okay, well, he's killed 5 million Jews and tortured people throughout their entire lives. The best punishment for him is to end his life, because there's no other form of retribution that's adequate enough. If you put him through torture for 99 years, okay, well, he still put more people through torture. He's done worse than that, so that's not enough retribution.
Like, what is the point of this?
I'm just showing that like someone can lose their value and have no value. Like that someone with this badge can have no moral consideration.
How does this help your view?
I mean, when I continue, you'll understand.
Okay.
So this person, so Hitler now has no value as a human, but he still has this badge.
Yeah.
So this badge, okay, so if somebody can have this badge and have no right to life, then this badge is just a pointless badge. Because no matter whether I had this badge that I was given to because I've achieved sentience, it doesn't really matter.
Well, that's base. You're adding like justification and context and shit.
No, I mean, I'm just saying that like no matter what, like you can never lose this badge. But that's not how it works, because
I understand what you're saying now. Okay, if you want to, I still think that would consider you like give you moral consideration no matter what. But I think that under certain like circumstances, you could possibly like lose it, or not lose it, but rather like get justification based on.
I mean, we've already went through all of this. Like Hitler has done this. We've already agreed that like he deserves death. Death is an adequate punishment.
So is this like proving that you could lose it? Is what you're arguing?
No, I'm just proving that this badge has no meaning. Like this badge is a useless badge.
Oh, I
because
think it is.
Because the point is, right, if I have this badge, I still have no right to life. Like this hasn't provided me with anything. Because the problem with this thing is, it's just a benchmark thing that's arbitrary and useless. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. This arbitrary badge is just a stupid claim to keep
think it's
consistent
very
logic. That's what I'm proving.
I think it's very useful, and I'll explain why.
Because
Because
the idea is
before you did that bad thing, before you committed that act that justified like you getting punishment, you were considered, like when you were sleeping, like people didn't kill you. Like you're not gonna get killed in your sleep before you did that bad thing.
before what?
Before you did that bad thing that justifies this punishment, you weren't gonna get killed in your sleep or something.
I wasn't killed in my sleep.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
So that's reputation. Like before this.
Yeah, this badge allows you to not get killed in your sleep, or if you get in a medical accident and get in a coma. That's what it does. That's why I don't think
Wait,
it's
why would the
useless.
badge why would the badge not let you get in a coma?
Never said it allows you to not get murdered and like discarded if you were to get into a coma.
Okay, well now this badge is just arbitrary, and it's the point I'm proving is like it's a completely useless badge. If someone can have this badge that gives them consideration, but have no consideration, it's self-defeating. There's no
It's not
point in this
self-defeating
badge.
because you're arguing that like this person did something really bad and that requires like a
I mean,
punishment.
at the end of the day, the whole point of this is like you can have this. Here, I'll go back to like what my position. You can have this and have no consideration. But where, on the other hand, if when I don't meet these criteria, I lose. So back with the analogy I gave earlier with like, I'm poor, I don't have money, and when I leave, I no longer have the right to this money I've been given because I don't longer identify with this. That would be consistent with Hitler.
Yeah, and I give the counter analogy of saying like it'd be more analogous to say like you get a badge if you achieve $1 million.
Yeah, and I
then
just
you keep
refuted
it.
it. So where we ended up was this badge can be given to someone with no moral consideration.
That's wait. It gives them more consideration, but further justification and context can say that hey, this person is like a serial killer. They should probably be in jail or receive punishment, right?
Yeah, but they still have the badge though, because the badge is.
Mm-hmm. What's
exactly.
inconsistent?
So
what's wrong with that?
The point is like if you can have this badge and have no right to life, that means that you have as much moral consideration as someone without the badge, and the badge is pointless. That's the whole idea.
Well, before you did that bad thing, the badge would give you the right to life if you were unconscious. That's the point of it. It's not pointless. It has a lot of point to it.
Well, so if this badge can be given to something with no right to life, then why not give it to things with no right to life? Because if these things that have no moral consideration, because at the end of the day, when you lose this value, you have no value. So there is no reason to limit things any more further. Like you have no value. These fetuses, like you said, have no value. So you can just hand out the badge to all the rest of the fetuses because they have no value
well,
too.
You're not getting the badge because you have no value. You're getting it because you're sentient. You losing value or doing a really heinous act and needing justification or punishment for that heinous act is post. That's like after you getting the badge in the first place. That's after you getting moral consideration. And they're not connected. So it's not really coherent to say. Yeah, it's not coherent to say. Well, they have no value, and fetuses also have no value. That's an equivocation fallacy. Yeah.
All right, back to the point. So, so if you can have this badge and it's permissible to kill you in your sleep, I mean, that's like the whole idea. Like, if you have this badge, it's still fine to kill you in your sleep, because the fact is, someone can have this badge and it will be morally permissible to kill them. That's the point.
That's not a very good point. I see no issue with that point.
Yeah, so it's fine.
Yeah,
so you can have this badge.
That's not a good point.
Okay. So now we've basically come to the conclusion that this badge is pointless because you can have this badge. No, because you can have this badge and be killed in your sleep. Because you can have this badge and have no consideration. This badge is just an arbitrary badge. So now I've reduced this badge to something just arbitrary that you just put out there to keep consistent logic.
Actually, wait, didn't we just go over this and I explained why it's not pointless and that it allowed that person to get more consideration?
I just took a different path. My point is because you refuted it. Because you refuted with like the sleep point, right? You were like, because they're sleeping, like when they had this badge and they were sleeping or something. When they're
Yes.
sleeping, they weren't going to get killed, right? But with this
Correct.
badge, I can still be killed in my sleep with no repercussion.
That's
I can- I-
fine. That's giving context, though. That doesn't refute. That doesn't like reduce this badge to anything.
No. Context doesn't matter because context is how you like when I bring up these propositions and these hypotheticals. That's how I test the consistency and the strength of your position.
Oh yeah, definitely. I understand how you like how hypotheticals and context work. What I'm saying is that when I agreed that like you can get justification and maybe even possibly lose your right to life if you commit like genocide or some heinous act. That doesn't reduce the badge to pointless. The badge's point was to make sure that given no context and no justification, or not justification, but not have it given
Yeah, but here's the problem, right? If I
yeah.
test this hypothetical to the max and it starts to become flawed, that means it's
I don't
not a
see any
strong
flaw in it.
hypothetical. I'm just proving the flaw because you can have this badge and you won't be protected for anything because you can have this badge and it does nothing because you can still be killed in your sleep.
It definitely
Someone
does a
with this
lot.
badge. No. Let me finish. Someone with this badge, because if I test this proposition you've made to the fullest, right?
Sure.
I've reduced this to pointless.
I would
That's
disagree.
not a strong argument because
would
as
ag-
you've already
I don't think
because
it
as
is.
you've already agreed that when I give this badge to something, it's still permissible for it to be killed in its sleep.
No,
You're
that's
still
actually
killed.
that's actually not the position I took, right? With the badge, it's not permissible to kill them in their sleep. Given context, let's say if they do something that warrants them losing their
Yeah,
right to
but the
life or
problem is
moral
they still
justification.
have the badge. That's the whole point. They still have the badge because you can't lose this badge. That's the problem.
Yeah, I'm saying the badge base, like badge human. If a human has like this badge, if they've achieved sentience, that gives them more consideration. If they lose that moral consideration in
Yeah,
the future due to
But when they
outside
lose the
forces, that's fine.
consideration, they still have the badge. That's the whole thing I'm getting at. If you
Yeah.
still have this badge, it means this badge was just pointless in the first place.
Wait, but that person wasn't killed in their sleep before they did the bad thing, though. So how is it pointless?
All right, let me try and word this better. I think I can. I think I can
Yeah,
get
I'm
this.
very confused where you're going with this.
No. I mean, like, no, the point is, like, I'm just trying to reduce this badge to just something so pointless and dumb. Just let me think for a second. Hold on. So when granted this badge here, you have moral consideration.
Yes.
That's how this badge works.
Correct.
This badge gives you moral consideration, but it's a self-defeating because I can have this badge and also have no moral consideration. That means this badge does not entail. It's not really like moral consideration, to be honest, because you can have this because this badge baseline is
Baseline,
you
sure.
have with this badge you are given moral consideration.
Correct.
The thing with my analogy is you can lose this badge. That's the whole idea. Like you can lose this badge, but with your example, you can't lose this badge. And if you can't lose this badge, then that means no matter what you do, you shouldn't lose moral consideration. That's the problem.
No, I'm just
Because the
extrapolating
badge,
on it. That's why I agreed with you. That's why I agreed on the fact that you can lose your right to life or moral consideration if you do some super heinous act or impede upon another person, like genocide. If I thought that was like a
but
contradiction or
the problem
inconsistency with my
problem is you
position, I
don't
would've
lose the
disagreed.
badge. That's the whole problem. You don't lose the badge because here's the thing, right? If I give you here, let me think of it. If I give you a cookie,
Sure.
all right, I'm gonna think of a way to frame this analogy. If I give you a cookie, hold on.
Can I like maybe like outline this in maybe a way that would like be better understood? Maybe it'll be like
I'm just gonna bring up the analogy. Hold on.
pseudo-theologize it? Okay.
Actually, I don't think this analogy is necessary. The point is, like this badge, when you're given this badge, you're given moral consideration.
Yep.
And logically, why would you still have moral consideration when you still have the badge? Because the badge indicates moral consideration.
It indicates moral consideration given that you haven't lost your moral consideration, right? That doesn't reduce the badge.
Here. So this
I'll
badge,
explain.
the point is like because your
Can I
position
explain?
entails. Here, I'll just say one more time and then you can explain. So this badge, it entails you are given moral consideration. When you are granted this badge, here's moral consideration. If I can have this badge and also have no moral consideration, then that's contradictory. Your position when tested is self-defeating.
Yeah, I'll explain
I'm
why it
gonna.
isn't, right? Yeah. So basically what you're saying is that you have to leave this. I'm playing fucking Hypixel right now. I have to get off of that so I can just write this out. So basically what you're saying is, I'll just post this in scans and like kind of like pseudo syllogize it. Badge gives you moral consideration. That is my position. If you commit genocide, you lose consideration. Is that your position?
I'll also write in a syllogism. Give me a second.
It's in scans 1.
Y'all not rocking with genocide?
Yeah. Is that your position? Yeah, just let me know if that's like your position, just so I can get a clear outline on where you're going with this. Yes. So just let me know if that's like consistent and correct with your position. Get that shit out of here. I read out mine. Here, I have to copy that actually. Oh shit.
All right, sorry, someone came in my room. All right, now I'll start writing the syllogism.
Damn it, bro. I keep I deleted it. I'll just rewrite it. I deleted it like twice by accident. Here, I'll just rewrite it for you. Okay, so sorry, I fucked it up. That's the first part. Badge gives you moral consideration. That's the second part. Is that your position? The badge gives you moral consideration. You can lose moral consideration if you commit a heinous act. So the badge is therefore devalued. Is that your position?
No, I think the main point is not devalued, but it's contradictory because you have this badge that gives you more consideration, and you also have no moral consideration. That's the problem.
Yeah. So
I'll
you're
say-
saying it's pointless, right?
Oh, no, not pointless. What I'm saying is it's self-defeating. Like you can't have this badge and have no more consideration because the badge gives you more consideration. So I said badge gives you more consideration. Badge is guaranteed more consideration. If you have the badge and no more consideration, this position is self-defeating because I can have the badge and have no more consideration.
All right, let's write it up. So the badge will give you more consideration as a baseline. You achieve sentience, you have it. There is no issue here. I'll write it out. They're like, tell me what's like wrong with that. That's my position. I don't see any issue. Like as a baseline, it gives you more consideration.
Wait, that's your position?
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
If you commit a heinous act plus you this badge, more consideration. I.e., so you're saying you can lose the badge, but you already agree that you don't lose the badge.
You don't lose the badge. No, I'm never saying you lose it. I'm saying that you would still have like the baseline moral consideration as long as you're sentient. I'm just saying like sometimes it can be justified like impeding upon your will, so like putting you in jail or death sentence if you like commit genocide, right? I see no issue with that.
I mean, I do see an issue because you still have the badge. That's the whole problem with this. See, Ajax, the problem is, right, if you still have moral consideration, like, this is the problem, bro. This is why my analogy is better. This is why my position is better, because the whole idea with my position is, like, so when you have this, you lose it. But here, you still have the badge. So it's self-defeating because you have this badge that gives you, like, here's your moral consideration. Here's the badge, so you should have more consideration.
I'll explain, right? Maybe you're confused on like the badge part, right? So I don't think you can lose the badge inherently unless you lose sentience or you die, right? Right. Lose sentience would be out of words because you sleep, obviously, and this is the badge is you given more consideration post achieving it, right? It's like you die or you have no chance of regaining sentience, something like that, right? That's fine, right? Something along those lines. If you do something to supersede that moral consideration, then it can be dismissed or ignored. You can still have more baseline moral consideration as a human, but the fact that you committed genocide means that you just like that what is it, injustice would supersede that baseline moral consideration that you would have. I don't see any issue.
Like,
so I'll give an example, right?
So
like,
my problem is,
Hitler,
like, your position entails never losing the badge. That means never losing consideration because that's what the badge is.
would it be better? Would it be better if I just said you could lose the badge? Would that be like better for you?
Well, no, because that would like defeat your point, your position.
Wait, why would it?
Can't, because that would mean that you can, because this badge. Because here's the problem, right? So we go all the way back. If we regress back, it ends up to where, like, to my point where you can lose this badge. That's my whole point of arguing. Like, you can lose it completely.
Okay, so like why would that?
Because I'm just testing it to the max, like.
Yeah, I'm just asking
because
you, like, this seems a little circular, and the more I think about it, the more I realize it's kind of pointless to be on this. I'm just like asking, like, I could keep like explaining to you why this would be the case, but like, if I just said, okay, you can lose it if you commit like a super heinous act like genocide, like how does that defeat my position? Let's ask.
So the analogy I brought up was you have something and you lose something because you no longer have it, right? That's my position. You lose the thing because you no longer meet the criteria for it.
Ajax,
if you're no longer a millionaire, that means you no longer have $1 million.
Ajax, yeah, that's kind of my position. Yeah, but like it's kind of irrelevant.
not really, Ajax.
Well, no, that actually is my position, but it's we can just move on. Point being that again,
no, like, I think
right?
I think we should bring in like a different judge because I don't think you fully understand what I'm saying. Like, I completely get what you're saying, but like I don't think you see the flaw, because the flaw is,
I didn't know Ajax was a judge.
So here's my position is, if you have something, dude. Oh my god. So here's my position. I'll send my syllogism.
It's fine, but like what if I just steal my
I think this, no, like you can't steal it because this is my position. My position is so let's just say, like, you have a badge. That's fine. You have a badge.
Yeah, you're trying to derive absurdity from my position.
Yeah. No, I'm showing you the contradiction. So you have a badge, right?
Sure.
The most logical position when you have a badge.
Correct.
So say that badge is more consideration. You lose the badge. Therefore, you lose moral consideration. That's the logical, coherent way to view this. That's my problem, because you're having two things at once.
What if I just dropped it? What if I said you could lose the badge? Now what?
I mean, okay, then your point is flawed.
How so?
Because my position is you have the badge, you can lose the badge. Because if you can lose the badge which entails the thing that gives you value. So this thing that gives me value, if I can lose it, and when I lose the badge, I lose my right to life. That means when I go to sleep and I lose sentience, I lose my right to life.
No. Okay, I see where you're getting at. Okay, I'm gonna drop it and say that if you commit a heinous act and impede upon another person,
no. If you drop it, like, just you have to like concede this whole thing in my analogy.
I don't think so.
All right, well then let's continue on the point.
Yeah, we can go on the analogy. What you just said, right? You said that if you can see that you can lose it, then you're kind of asserting that your specific conditions would be like viable into losing it, which I don't see why. When the whole point of the badge would to be maintain moral consideration even when you don't have sentience, since the badge is when you
So
yeah.
I'm assuming you I'm assuming that you understand, like, because
I
the thing
understand
is,
what
like,
you're saying. Yes.
because this badge, I can have this badge and have no consideration. So the better way to go about it, because this is defeating, is I can lose the badge, therefore losing consideration. Because this is what
Yeah,
gives you
I
value.
don't think it is self-defeating, but I'm just going into like it and saying like even if
Okay,
it was, like what
You
then?
have a badge. I'll write down on subject. If you have a badge, you have consideration. If you lose the badge, you lose consideration. Because when you don't have something, it shouldn't be a benchmark. Because a benchmark shouldn't determine like your value forever. And the problem is, if a benchmark does, if you are given
think it
something
does.
that determines something, if you're given something that determines something forever, because here, back to like how I started the millionaire club, right? Like, who cares if you're in the club? Like, what? You can be in the club and have no money. You can be in the club and be broke. So why would this club give you any benefits that someone who's higher up in the club give? Because this badge is just arbitrary and it's pointless. There's no benefit to this badge. It's just a benchmark badge.
Well,
Whereas my analogy
there's
is,
an issue with that, right? There's an issue with that. What you say when there's this badge, you keep saying like this badge is pointless and it's arbitrary, but then everyone who's sleeping gets killed.
no. I don't agree with people sleeping and getting killed. I don't
So
agree
there
with
is
that.
a point to it.
No. What I'm saying is your position entails that, like, if we keep consistency with your position, then that would be the case. That would be the problem. I don't agree. My position actually, I don't agree
Well,
with it.
I just
Because
extrapolated,
my position actually,
right? So
like dismisses that, and it's actually like
So-
we're anti
yeah, so
killing people in their sleep.
Yeah, so can you like address the what I said, please?
Because therefore you lose more.
I didn't type it out. Can you like address what I said when I said okay? You went a little into it, but I'd like you to like actually like combat it like fully.
All right, I'll write down another syllogism for Ajax if you want to see it.
Okay, that's fine. Well, while you're doing that, I'll just like say like I could just steel ban and say, okay, you can lose it if you commit a heinous act. What does that do? Maybe that's like easier for you. Like you like to be able to lose it. Sure. If you like want to be able to lose moral consideration,
Okay.
that's fine. But like
Now, if you can lose more consideration, that means that when you but this is like this thing, because sentience gives you consideration. Remember, like, we're like kind of equivocating those, because these two things are like contingent on each other. If you can't have sentience without, you get moral value without sentience without moral value. That's like kind
moral
of the
value
idea.
from achieving sentience. That's the badge.
Yeah, that's what it entails. So like when you lose the badge, it would entail losing sentience. So if you take away the badge, you also take away
Wait,
sentience.
the badge isn't sentience. The badge.
No.
Is
But like,
sentience.
but the badge, like, you keep the badge because
You continue to be sentient. What are you going with this? Do you want to like repeat yourself?
the
Maybe?
badge is when you achieve sentience. Because you have sentience, here's your badge. You don't have sentience, give me your badge. That's the consistent way here, because I can also have the
No,
badge
That's
and not meet
contradictory.
the criteria for the badge. That's the problem.
That's not.
And then
that's not
and then we
consistent
move
or
on
that's
to what you said. You
contradictory.
said it's a benchmark.
That's
Yeah, I'm just
contradictory.
like I'm just running back to what you were saying. I'm just running through it. And you said no because it's a benchmark. Okay, so if this benchmark considers your value, and you can have this thing and have no value, and that's defeating.
I don't think it is at all. I'll explain why. So as a baseline, once you achieve sentience, you get this moral consideration. If you commit a heinous act, you can forfeit that consideration. What's wrong with that? I think once you achieve sentience, you have something like inherent value to you. But I think like once
Okay,
you
so I can lose the badge, right?
yeah, sure.
So
I'll
now,
just
so now
staleman
you've
that.
agreed you
Staleman.
can lose the badge.
That's the stalemate I'm on. Yes. What's the extent of
Okay, so
this?
the badge is you've achieved sentience, right? Your
Correct.
sentience is what gives you more consideration. The sentience and consideration, the consideration is derived from the sentience.
No.
It's not?
It's part of it. It's achieving sentience is where the consideration is coming from.
Yeah, the consideration comes from the sentience.
If you want to put it like that, sure.
Alright, so if the achievement comes from the sentience, when I no longer have, if you can lose the badge, because that would also entail losing sentience. That's the problem.
No, it wouldn't.
Why not?
Because you could lose sentience and still have the badge.
Okay, but here, if I lose the badge, and the badge is a benchmark of achieving sentience, that means that I would lose ever achieving sentience. This is the problem. It's very incoherent.
Because no, it's not, because the badge isn't analogous to sentience.
Bruh,
The badge is not sentience.
what?
The badge is not sentience itself. It's just the achievement of being sentient.
Yes, the achievement sentience. So you would lose the achievement of ever having sentience. That's the problem. Even though
No,
you
it
have
just
achieved sentience.
No, what you're
No,
saying.
no.
What I'm saying
Because
is right.
because the
I agree that you
benchmark
could
is
possibly
defeating. The
lose it.
benchmark, the whole benchmark idea is defeating. Especially that you can lose a benchmark is defeating. You
I
don't lose things
think
after you've
so.
achieved them.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that's fine.
So back to another analogy. So I'm a millionaire. If I get a millionaire badge, that means I was once a millionaire.
Yep.
I can't lose the badge for once being a millionaire.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. So if I commit a heinous act and I was given this benchmark for meeting this requirement, you called it a benchmark yourself. If I meet this benchmark, I can't lose this benchmark. That's the whole problem with your position.
Hey, do you want me to like? I keep like you keep like picking.
And you've
do you
already
wanna, like,
agreed that you
reword it?
can.
Sure. Do you want me to like reword it to like?
And you've already
the badge
agreed.
or devalue
Yeah,
the
let me
badge or
finish.
something.
And you've already agreed that you can lose the badge. So.
Yeah.
That's another. So I just proved another contradiction. So.
Well, I'll just shift it. Like,
so
so you can lose the badge. You're saying that you can't lose a benchmark. Okay, so do you want me to like reword it for you? Like, you can like devalue the badge. Like, that's all the point is, right?
Devalue the badge.
Value it or
how do you devalue like a benchmark thing? It's one thing. Like you have
Correct.
done this. It's not like you've halfway
Yeah.
done this, because if you've halfway done this, you haven't done it. Or if you've kind
That's
of done
not
this,
what
you
I'm
haven't
saying.
done it.
I'm just saying,
Okay,
like,
then
the
how do
whole
you
point.
devalue a benchmark?
Maybe I'll like reword it, because like the whole point is what I'm like about to like explain to you, and like you're kind of just like, I'm not gonna like say you're being like semantical or something, but like the whole point is what I'm trying to argue right now. Just like reword it to get the point across better, right? The point is the fact that the badge can be devalued, dismissed, lose it, whatever the fuck you want to say. I don't think it matters in the whole, because the point of the argument.
So I'll address the
is
first
to
thing. You can't
say-
devalue a benchmark thing.
Why?
So I'll dismiss that. So you can't
Why?
lose a benchmark.
Wait,
That's
why
the
can't
problem
you
with having
devalue a benchmark?
Okay. So what is a benchmark? It's when you've achieved something, right?
Correct.
So when I've achieved something and I've been given this badge, how would you devalue that? Because I've
Devalue
come
it?
so
'Cause you don't.
so here I'll give you an analogy. I have a sock, right? And I have a badge for having a pair of socks. Because I've once so I go to Target and I bought a shirt and they gave me a badge for buying the shirt. How do you devalue that badge? Because I've still bought the shirt.
Well, you know what the effects of the badge are, right? You know what the badge like gives you. I'm not saying like you can devalue the badge, so like you'll no longer have achieved sentience. I'm saying you'll devalue the badge because the badge is giving you something.
Yeah, but think about it. It's like space time. Like
value.
they're contingent on each other. Like that's the problem, because it's hard to keep consistency when you've already agreed that these two things are contingent on each other.
I disagree. I think it's very consistent, and I'll explain. So basically, I'm not saying you're
Holy
devaluing
shit.
the bed. Wait, what?
I just that we're
What's wrong?
kind of like going again. Like it's just getting crazy.
I mean, it's been going on a long time, but I genuinely feel like this is a fine position. So I mean, if you're
Yeah,
getting
hold on, let me
annoyed,
turn on my
if you're-
fan. Hold on.
yeah, if you're getting annoyed, let me know. But I don't see any issues with this. Yeah, a fucking Ajax.
I just had to turn on my fan.
I feel like Ajax is kind of getting my position. What I'm saying is, right, you're not
But my
devaluing.
problem with benchmarks is you like it makes no sense to devalue a benchmark.
I just ask you, like, wait, I think it makes perfect sense, right? So, I'm not saying necessarily that we're devaluing the benchmark, therefore we're negating the fact that you have achieved sentience. We're devaluing the benchmark and getting rid of the value that it gives you. So the value that this benchmark would give you.
So
would be
look
moral
what Ajax is.
consideration.
Basically what I'm saying. Benchmarks can't be devalued, but they're revoked. You revoke a benchmark.
No,
That's the only way you
like,
go about things.
I'm
You
explaining.
revoke something, you don't.
So if you just like listen to what I'm saying, right? So I'm saying like we're not.
Hold on, give me a second. All right. You can keep going.
Okay, so what I'm saying is we're not necessarily devaluing the benchmark in terms of, let's say you have no longer achieved sentience. We're devaluing it in the effect that it gives you. The only value that
Yeah, but
benchmark
causes are
holds.
contingent on effects. Like these things are like hand in hand.
No, I
You can't
don't think.
because this is how you prove the inconsistencies, because these two things are hand in hand.
Can I like fully
you-
explain first, and you can point out the inconsistency? Yeah, so
Alright, sure.
I'm not devaluing it to the extent of you have never achieved sentience. I'm devaluing maybe a better wording, the effect of the benchmark. The badge gives you, the badge has value. What is the value of this badge? The value it gives to you, a human being who has sentience or have achieved sentience, would be that you gain moral consideration. That is the value of the badge. When you're devaluing this badge, we're saying, okay, there's certain conditions that can be met that would devalue your moral consideration. It's a baseline. It's not it's not an axiom. It's a baseline. It's a starting thing. It's not an axiom.
So this badge, I'll go on reputation. Do you want to conclude after this point? 'Cause I
Yeah,
think
I'm
this would be
100%
like enough.
down. Yeah, it's been going really long.
Yeah, so I'll say it one more time. So when I have this badge entails I've been granted consideration because I've attained sentience. And if I've attained sentience, this is what you valued. It was a benchmark, sentience, having achieved it ever, that gave you consideration.
Yep.
So sentience and the bench, like, they're contingent on each other. You can't just
Let me
you know,
top for you then,
you
because
can't
like this
you
has been
can't
happening.
devalue an effect without changing the cause.
Yeah,
You can't
this
reduce
has
an
been
effect.
happening. Yeah, this has been happening this entire time. I've kind of just been like trying to drive a point, and you've kind of been like just nitpicking at the wording rather than come back. I'm not saying like you're ducking or trying to dodge or anything. I don't think you're like getting the point rather than you're nitpicking the wording, right? So let me just chop it up again, right? Let's say you're devaluing the effect of the badge. Is that better? You're devaluing the effect.
Yeah, but my point
what
is
the
like
badge gives you.
these things are hand in hand. So you can't just devalue the effect of the badge unless you have causality manipulation.
Wait, what? 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 Wait, why not? What's wrong with that? I don't think they're like contingent. Wait, what do you mean by contingent?
Did this nigga just bring in causality manipulation in an IRL debate?
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Bro,
I'm joking, bro. I'm
He
joking.
scaled himself to GER, bro. What the fuck? Okay, yeah. So, like, what?
All
It's
right.
like,
So basically, what I'm saying is because your consideration is based on a benchmark, that entails this benchmark. Once it's met, you're given consideration. Like the problem with giving something consideration over just having achieved a benchmark is that no matter what, having achieved a benchmark sticks with you. And if you devalue the benchmark, which would entail just devaluing
the effect of the benchmark.
Yeah, just devaluing the effect. But because this is like this whole thing, because to keep consistency, you have to devalue everything to be consistent.
I disagree. I think we can be plenty consistent without like devaluing the fact that, because it doesn't. Would you agree that like putting less or devaluing the fact that you had achieved sentience, like that's not possible. That's not like coherent. You can't like devalue the fact that you've achieved sentience.
Yeah, but they're like contingent on each other though.
Yeah, and I'll explain why.
And what you're saying is you can just give the badge less value to you, but that value was derived from just having achieved sentience, and that's what gave you more consideration. You cannot arbitrarily remove one aspect of the badge and not the other. You have to completely remove the badge.
I disagree. I don't
just
see why you
it sounds like it's a different benchmark. It sounds like a different badge to me.
No, I don't think it is. The badge, you get the badge when you achieve sentience. The effect of the badge is the fact that you get more consideration. When you do a heinous act, you can.
No, hold on. The badge gives you more consideration.
Yes.
Hey, no, you said like the effect of the badge and more consideration. I'm like, nah. Like, you get the badge.
That's the effect of having it. Yes.
Badge entails more consideration.
Yes, you can get the badge revoked if you commit a very heinous act.
Yeah, and getting the badge revoked would entail, because the sentience is what gives the thing value. The sentience is what gave it value. The badge.
Oh, I think I understand. There's no strings attached to the badge. Let me explain. There's no strings.
There definitely is to keep consistency.
No, there actually isn't, and I'll explain. So I can't point out the exact strings. Argument's been kind of convoluted, but what I'm saying is once you achieve sentience, you get the badge. That's it. You have the badge. There's no ties to the badge to like maintaining sentience, right? That's the whole point of the badge. Once you go asleep, you could still have the badge.
Yeah. All right. But here's my problem. This badge value is derived from having sentience. That's the value.
No, it's not.
Correct. So you don't get the value from sentience. Is that what you're saying?
You get it from not maintaining sentience. You get it from gaining sentience, not keeping sentience.
Okay, and here's the problem, right? So once you've gained sentience, even when you lose sentience, you still have the badge. That's your whole position.
Correct.
So when I have this badge and I do a heinous act, you're saying you brought up first I lose the badge, and then you reword it to I lose value of the effect of the badge.
Sure. Yep.
All right.
What's the issue?
I should have just not let you go back on your lose the badge point.
Well, I mean, I think I don't think it. No, I don't think so. Because I think the point of the argument was irrelevant. I could have just reworded it because I'm at a positive
because
standpoint.
any changes from that would entail changing some aspect of the sentience. It all revolves
Yeah,
around
I
sentience.
don't think
That's
there's
the
any issue.
problem.
I could have. Yeah, I just like dropped it and said, okay, I'll reword it. I don't.
Because the whole
think
thing
there's any
is like
issue with that.
here. Whenever you say it again, I want you to like make sure you entail sentience as well, because the sentience is what is the value. That's value. The value is the sentience. So don't just say like
Yeah,
we're
no,
gonna
I'll
remove consideration, because removing consideration would entail you have to change sentience.
Yeah.
You
So
can't.
what?
Don't
That's
have
not what I'm
causality.
saying. What I'm saying is the fact that as soon as you achieve sentience, you gain the badge. That's it. If you lose sentience, you still have the badge. That's fine. This badge isn't contingent on you being currently sentient. That's
Okay,
why
so-
you don't get killed in
Okay,
your
so
sleep. Like that's bad.
if you lose sentience, you don't lose the badge. Is
Correct.
that what you're saying?
Yes, correct. It's
Well,
not contingent on
well, then
sentience.
we're just gonna go back to acknowledgement. We're gonna go back to the point where we're like, okay, so, and then, dude, we're about to go down the same path.
I don't
just
think
did
so. I
earlier.
think that I think we cleared up a few misconceptions. I think this is new ground.
I don't think we did. I think we kind of just moved on from that. I kind of still want to like argue that point, because I don't think gravitation was like strong enough.
But like given that, let's just like repeat it one more time for the judge, and we can move on. So like, what's the issue with that? So you get the badge when you gain
Because
sentience.
sentience
It's
is the
no longer
value.
connected to maintaining it.
You get value from this sentience.
Wrong.
Wrong. So there's no value in the sentience.
Never said that. I'm saying the badge isn't contingent on maintaining sentience. You get it from achieving it, and that's it. The moment you achieve sentience, you have the badge. You lose it past that point, you still have
achieve the
consideration.
sentience. When you achieve the sentience, you have the badge.
Correct. Not
Okay,
contingent.
and this
on-
badge, and so when I brought up people who've committed heinous acts, so you've agreed that people can be punished by death. So when your
Sure.
life has reduced to the point where death is not a bad act or morally wrong at all, because it's retribution, that
Correct.
means that you have no consideration.
Correct.
So
You
you
lost
have
the
no
badge.
consideration, and you have the badge that gives you consideration, and that you cannot lose. That's a
Wait.
self-defeating badge.
Wait, I never said no. I dropped that. I dropped that point. I dropped it.
Oh, so you dropped this entire point, so I get the point?
No, I said I dropped the fact that you can't lose the badge. I just said, okay, you can lose the badge. Now what? That was my steel man earlier. That's why we're on this point. I just
So you
steelmaned,
can't. Okay,
you could
yeah,
lose
and then
the
we go
badge.
right back to where we were a second ago. Okay, so you want to try and like
You circled
minimize. Yeah. So then we get back to the point, because you still haven't like sufficiently like done anything. If I'm being honest.
Wait,
about,
yeah, I have. I just said that it's
about,
not
hold
contingent.
on. About like removing value from the badge, because
Yeah.
the badge is contingent on sentience.
No, it's
That's
not.
the problem.
I just explained. You're going circular.
No, I mean getting the
looped right back
badge.
around. Getting the badge is contingent on sentience. Maintaining sentience is not necessary for.
You know what I'm saying, but
achieving
it's
the
contingent on
badge.
having sentience. So to remove, like the weight of the badge will be removing having achieved sentience. That's the problem.
No, I'm just talking about the
Removing
effect
like
of the
an
badge.
aspect of it, because yeah, exactly. The problem is it's not consistent, and it makes no sense.
No,
You cannot
the
remove
badge
part
is
of a
not.
benchmark.
Yeah, I'll explain. The badge is not having the badge in and of itself is not having achieved sentience. The badge gives you that. You gain the badge when you achieve sentience. The badge does not grant
Okay,
you.
yeah.
The badge gives you more consideration. That is the badge of more consideration.
Yeah, the badge
You
gives
get
you
the
more
badge.
consideration, because the more consideration deriving from the badge gives you, the badge given is because you achieve sentience. That's it.
Correct. So if you devalue the badge, you're not devaluing the fact that you gained
Okay.
sentience somewhere. You're just
Okay,
devaluing
but
what the
you
badge
cannot
gives
just
you.
do that. You can't
Why
do that
not?
because the badge, because you cannot devalue. Because to do that, the better way is to take away the badge.
Yeah, so we take away the badge. That's fine. We can take away the badge too. Devalue it, take away, dismiss. All those
Okay.
are fine.
Okay, so taking away the badge when you lose consideration from your position.
Give like
All right, so if you take away the badge,
more?
right,
correct.
and if the badge entails having achieved sentience, that
correct.
means I can lose the badge, correct?
I just said you could lose.
Okay,
dismiss,
in my
devalue.
position.
Sure.
Okay, and if you can lose the badge,
Hmm.
it means that I have consideration.
If you lose the badge, you no longer have consideration. Yes.
Okay. This,
Continue.
if I can lose this badge, which is consideration, which is sentience, right?
No.
Because this badge, because it's impossible to keep consistency like this. Because this badge, no, because dude, You cannot keep consistency with your position. I'm sorry,
Why
because
not?
this badge, it's a benchmark badge, and you're saying you can
You
lose a
just get it.
benchmark badge, bro.
I don't see an issue
Come
with
on,
that.
dude.
You get the badge when you gain sentience. The badge
Yeah, but
itself.
the problem is back to the point. You cannot lose. You've already agreed you can lose the badge. I'm not gonna let you go back on it this time. If you can lose it,
Okay.
you cannot lose a benchmark badge. Once you've achieved something, you have achieved it. You cannot lose the badge.
Oh, I'm not saying that you're gonna lose. Like the fact is gonna disappear from reality that you gain sentience.
Well, that's what
I'm
it would
saying the
entail
bag-
because when you've earned the benchmark,
No. Let me
benchmark-
explain. The badge
my
is giving you moral consideration. You can lose that the effect of the badge, dismiss the badge. The badge is not contingent. The badge does not mean that you gained sentience. You just get bag when you do. That
and that's
badge
where the
isn't like a
consideration comes from.
correct.
Okay,
If
so
I'm
base-
devalue, if
the-
I'm getting rid of
the
the badge,
baseline
it
thing
doesn't
is-
change anything.
baseline thing is sentience. You
Baseline
have
thing
this
is
value
sentience.
because you are sentient, and
Correct.
here is your benchmark.
Yep.
So, okay, if you say correct to that, okay, I'm gonna read what Ajax said. What
Kind of
what if
going
you achieve-
circular here.
if you achieve an achievement unfairly, the authority who gave you?
This doesn't. It sounds like you're kind of like deriving something here, but it's not coherent. Like
I think it is
You're-
clear because
you're trying to,
what
like,
you're saying
tie
is
in
you're removing a
sentient
benchmark.
with the
You're
badge.
removing a benchmark. No, because you have to tie in the two because that's where the value comes from. Because
I don't feel like
this
I need to.
badge. Oh
Because that
my
isn't
God.
coherent. You can't remove a fact.
Yeah, exactly. You can't remove a fact, so you cannot
I
remove the
agree.
badge.
The
Like you said,
badge,
you
the
can.
badge
Your
is
position
not the
entails.
fact. The badge is not the fact that you gain sentience. The badge, you just get it when you gain sentience. If
Oh,
you
so the badge
devalue
of the fact that you gain.
badge-
Okay. So the badge contradicts itself. So the badge goes
No.
against fact.
How? Can you explain how it goes against facts?
Because the badge. What? Because you said the badge isn't the fact.
Correct.
I mean,
I've said that
hold on.
throughout
It
this
isn't actually the fact though.
No, the
the-
badge is not the
Like,
fact.
no,
It's
hold
just-
on. If
No, I
if
said
you were
this.
given this badge, it's the fact that you've achieved sentience, and that's where you get consideration from. You having
Because of the
sentience,
fact.
no, hold on. You having achieved sentience is a fact. That's a fact.
Correct. Mhm.
Okay, so
Yep.
the badge is a fact
No.
because no, because we're representing the sentience in a badge form. Like, but this badge is sentience. That's what we just relabeled it
Achieved
to a badge.
sentience. It's having achieved sentience is the badge. Yes. The badge is not the fact that you achieve sentience. You just get the badge and moral consideration because you have achieved a sentience.
Yeah, no. It's a fact that you have achieved sentience,
Correct.
and this badge is just the achievement, but it's still a fact, and you cannot
What?
remove
It's not.
or
No KB question mark?
so it's not a fact that I've achieved sentience.
No, the badge is not the fact that you have achieved sentience. It's because
Well,
you achieved
we're
sentience that you have the badge.
Well, no. Hold on. No, because the badge because we already agreed the badge entails sentience. Like the badge is sentience. It has something to do with sentience. The badge is sentience.
Yeah, you had.
That's what we
the
agreed
badge
on.
is the-
No.
we didn't.
We were representing the badge as sentience. It was the
I
fact. That
disagree.
was a fact.
I disagree. I said the
What?
badge
Oh
is
my
contingent
God,
on you
bro.
gaining sentience. You need to have gained sentience to have the badge. I specifically said the badge is not sentience because that wouldn't make any sense with my position because the whole point of the
All
badge is that
right.
you don't lose
I
moral
think
consideration
we've
when you
gone
sleep.
to ad nauseam. We can just conclude. That's fine.
That's fine.
'Cause
Okay.
I don't really know. Like we're circling back too much.
Okay, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. I'll just say
Okay.
that, like, you having sentience is the fact, and I don't even want to explain all of this. Ajax, do you understand what I was saying? Just like unmute or something, or like DM me if you can. I really don't want to explain all this because I gotta take a shit like really bad.
Shouldn't have been on the chicken,
You know,
bro.
I was grubbing on those wings, bro.
Oh, I could use
All
some.
right, but you understand what I'm saying though, right, Ajax?
I hope so. Wait, is Ajax a judge?
Yeah, he's the judge.
He is?
Yeah, or we can ask other people. too,
Kinda
if they
on
want.
Bomb's side. No, I'm curious. I feel like you would have been more on my side given that last sentence, but we can discuss it.
I mean, after this, I can discuss it. Yeah, I'll explain it to you after. And like, I don't know. All right, hold on. These
Yeah,
buffalo.
when
these
Ajax
buffalo
hit VC, we could discuss it.
Yeah. So,
Oh no, Ajax. Wait, I thought you're kind of taking his position you took like 5 minutes ago when I like try to clarify. No, they're not synonymous, right? Badge is not the fact that you achieve sentience. You just get the badge because you have achieved sentience. So they're not like synonymous. They're
no,
not
no, 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 no. The badge. No. At the very beginning, the badge wasn't more consideration because then you're implying that the badge is only moral consideration, and that's not where we're arguing.
Wait, that was
No,
my whole position.
no, because no, because then you failed to refute what I was saying then because
How so?
my position was not the badge being just consideration because then I wouldn't have a
That was
problem
mine.
with no because the badge entailed sentience and the sentience.
I
When
think I
hold
had a
on,
reword
having
for
achieved.
you midway.
Let me finish. Having achieved sentience was because having achieved sentience is already the consideration on your position because you've already agreed it's a benchmark. So having achieved sentience, it already entails
It
your
grants you the
consideration.
badge. Yeah.
It already
grants you the
entails the
badge.
consideration. That's the thing,
Correct.
right?
Grants you the
So
badge.
I feel like you're pivoting a lot, and
Why? How so?
it's like messing up. But like having achieved sentience is the badge. That's the badge. That's the fact that you have achieved sentience.
No.
And
No.
no, because you already agreed it's a benchmark, bro. You already agreed it's a benchmark. Because if it's not a benchmark,
I disagree.
No, because if it's not a benchmark, then you have a badge, you have consideration. You lose the badge, you lose consideration. Therefore, your moral consideration is lost. When you lost the badge, therefore, when you're sleeping, you can be killed. Therefore, you can kill an infinite amount of people that are sleeping.
Maybe you're misunderstanding, right? The badge is no issue
Alright.
of like they're not contingent. Well, I've already
Alright.
explained this, but maybe Ajax is no misunderstanding because achieving sentience is a fact.
I
Since you
don't think he's misunderstanding. I think like
I
you've
am.
kind of
One
like
second.
pivoted a lot.
1 second.
But
You are saying that you achieving sentience is a fact, and since you
no,
attain the
because
badge because of this
saying
fact,
the badge is
correct?
consideration is redundant because having achieved sentience by your position
Gives you
is
sentience.
what the consideration is. No, it doesn't give you it. That is what the consideration is. Like you have consideration when you've achieved this. It's not like a fucking like a Girl Scout, like fucking Girl Scout badge you just hand out, bro. Nah.
I think
Like,
it is.
when
That's
you-
kind of what I'm equivocating it to, right?
Let
The
me-
moment
so-
you
so-
achieve sentience,
hold
you have the
on.
badge.
We're just like representing like having achieved sentience is the badge. So
Because of
removing
the
the
fact. 1
badge
second.
would entail losing
1
sentience.
second. I'm trying to read. Since you
because
get because the badge,
here,
because of the fact is irrevocable. That means the badge is irrevocable.
I think I understand that position, but I gotta
don't
go, bro.
wait. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can go.
I really gotta
Yeah. I can continue to discuss with Ajax. I think I thought I explained this, so maybe I thought Ajax would like be on my side even more now, but it's a little confusing. You're saying that you are achieving sentience is a fact, and since you attain the badge because of this fact, because the fact is irrevocable, that means the badge is irrevocable. Why is that? I disagree. I think you can like get the badge because you achieve sentience, but the only thing the badge is moral consideration. You just get moral consideration because you have achieved sentience. You can lose that badge if you do a heinous act. That doesn't change the fact that you have gained sentience. You just lose moral consideration. I don't understand why it would be irrevocable. You revoke the fact. But the badge isn't the same. The badge is not the fact. The badge is just more consideration. You get the badge because you have gained sentience. If you revoke the badge, you revoke the fact. No. No? Yeah, wait, are you understanding now? Yeah, that was like kind of his argument. I was trying to. Do you understand what I was trying to explain to him, Ajax, now? Yes, he's stuck on that argument. I was trying to explain. Yeah. He's. Yes, Ajax, yes. This entire
Hold
time.
on. Hold on. So Ajax, so you changed your idea?
I just explained to him what my position was.
Oh my god, bro. There's no way.
He was misunderstanding my position too. Yeah.
All right, so I'll say my position to you, Ajax. So after this, you can give your judgment. So he labeled this sentence as he labeled it as a benchmark, right? And when you've achieved this, you've achieved sentience, the more consideration comes with it. So having achieved sentience is where more consideration is derived from. Right? So when you have achieved sentience, that's where your moral consideration comes from. So when I have achieved sentience, I can also have no moral value. But that's self-defeating because I have achieved sentience, and what derives from it is me having more value, but I can also have no value while having this badge. Understand, Ajax? And if I can just lose this badge, it would mean me losing the benchmark of having sentience, which is a problem because you can't do that. Because this is a benchmark. Because his consideration for something is based on a benchmark, and losing a benchmark is a problem.
You gain badge because you achieve sentience and more consideration. This is the fact. You gain the badge based on this fact. However, if you commit an act which goes against you, whatever you
No,
achieved
I
previously,
don't
badge
think you
will be
understand.
approved. Yeah.
Because
No, that
his,
actually is my
his
badge.
compass,
That is my argument. Yes. my
no,
position.
because the position is. What I'm saying is here. I'll write a syllogism again. So you have it's benchmark badge. Benchmark badge for achieving.
Wait, you get way. Oh no, I think I know where this is going to. Yeah. No, you get the badge because of a benchmark. It is a benchmark that you have achieved sentience.
No. You've agreed it's a benchmark badge. You've already agreed to that. Ajax,
I think when you get it
Ajax,
because
Doge.
of a benchmark.
No, you've definitely agreed it's a benchmark badge. That's where all my contentions are coming from. You've agreed that badge is a benchmark badge.
Oh, okay. Then we could just split the badge up in like 2 parts then, if you want to like hold me to that then.
Bro.
I don't think I did, but yeah.
You did, bro.
Then I could just say, okay, the badge is the fact that you gain
So
sentience.
it's
and
no
we're just
longer a
altering the
benchmark
effect.
badge. So it's no longer a benchmark badge.
If you want to say it's no longer a benchmark and you can just drop your contentions, sure, I guess. If
No,
that's
I'm
all your
asking you is
contentions are.
No, I'm asking you because you're changing your position. Is it no longer a benchmark badge? Like, what's the idea?
Oh, if you're saying that it's like, oh, if you're like the idea that the benchmark or the badge was the fact that you gained sentience, no, I disagree with that. If that's like was the position
benchmark
that
was
you were
the
arguing
what?
against, if that's
No,
the
no, no,
position you were
no.
arguing against, then no.
No.
Then we've kind of
My
been
problem
swinging it
is
there.
because your value, you think something has value because it has achieved something.
Correct.
This achievement is where value comes from. So you have this. So no matter what, once you've achieved something, you said correct, okay? You hear that, Ada? He says correct. So if you've achieved this thing, right? This is an achievement, and this achievement gives you more consideration. It's not like there are 2 parts. No, this achievement is what entails more consideration. This achievement is what gives you more consideration.
Yeah.
Me having achieved sentience, okay? So the fact that I can have no more consideration and have this achievement that gives me more consideration is self-defeating.
So do you want me to say like dismiss then or something? Like, what do you want? My whole argument is just the fact that you can achieve sentience. The moment you achieve sentience, you have moral consideration, but you can lose that moral consideration given via
but here's
you
the
doing a
problem.
heinous act.
Your moral consideration at its very essence is an achievement. That's where your moral
Very
consideration
essence
comes
isn't.
from.
Not necessarily. I think it's because of the
No.
achievement.
No, not because. Your consideration comes from the achievement.
Wait, why would I say that?
having
Makes no
achieved
sense.
sentience.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. Your position does not make any sense. Yeah.
No, but like I wouldn't be. I'm not a retard. I wouldn't be like arguing that if it didn't make any sense. I could recognize that. Like I think before I speak, I could recognize that and say, that just sounds pretty fucking retarded. I'm not gonna argue that, right? My argument is the fact that it's because you gained sentience, therefore you have moral consideration. That's it. I see no issue with you losing. Well, I mean, I think we can just go to conclusions at this point. I mean,
So hold on. So now
you.
you've changed. Like, hey, I'm sure like you've noticed the pivot.
I don't wait. If you can point out the pivot for me, I would love to hear it. I don't think I have.
Because you said that you've achieved like this. Having achieved sentience is your consideration. If you don't achieve sentience, you don't have this consideration because the consideration is the achievement. Having achieved this is your consideration.
Maybe you've I've said before, like was it like 5 minutes before you like hopped off mic for a sec. I basically said like we're changing the effect of it, right? I kind of outlined it when you picked at me, like when you said like you can devalue it and you have to like devalue a fact, and I agreed like you can't like devalue like the fact. The fact is a brute fact. I agree, that's retarded, right? What I'm saying is that what the badge gives you is moral consideration. The badge is a badge of moral consideration. I see no issue, even if it's because of a fact. It's a fact that you have achieved sentience. It's not inconsistent for me to say that the effect of a fact would be, or the effect of badge
All
rather.
right, all right. I'll say one more
Yeah.
time, then we'll just conclude after this. All right.
Okay.
Oh, no. So you've already agreed to it being a benchmark, right?
Fact that you achieved sentience is a benchmark. Yes.
And you
I
agreed
agree.
that having achieved moral sentience is the benchmark, okay? And when you have this benchmark, you cannot lose it because when you go in your sleep, you lose sentience. Therefore, you would lose the badge. All right, but you're saying that you keep this badge because it's a benchmark, right? So this is why it has to be a benchmark badge, correct? So if this sentience is a
Wait,
benchmark,
you're saying the badge? No, I think you can lose the badge or devalue the badge. That was my whole position.
no. Okay,
Disagree.
let me run it back. Okay, I'll give you two scenarios. I'm given this badge, and it's not a
Correct.
benchmark badge. All right, but this is based on sentience, right? The
Correct.
value is all on sentience. It's all contingent on sentience. And if it's not a benchmark badge, that means when I go to sleep, if I no longer have sentience, I lose the badge. That's the problem. So that's why you can go.
No, I
No.
disagree with that.
All right. I'll write it down, and then you can point out any disagreements.
Well, no, yeah. Well, I mean, the disagreement with that would be, I don't think it needs to be like a benchmark for you to keep it. A benchmark is just referring to like almost like something like a gate.
No,
you pass,
because
right?
a benchmark
Like,
thing is something you keep. Because even if I'm a millionaire and I lose $1 million, if I get a millionaire club badge, I still keep the badge because I've achieved the badge.
I think I understand
That's
what you're
a
saying now,
benchmark
but
thing is.
it could be a benchmark. Wait, and then you said you can't lose a benchmark. If we're just saying the benchmark is more consideration and not the fact. Well, I mean, if you want to go down this route, then
because
I would
the
split
more
off,
consideration
right?
is completely derived from sentience. So when you say that, just say sentience. Don't say more consideration because
Sure.
you're leaving
Okay.
out.
Yeah. I guess I would just say this. I think you
Just
could
say sentience.
dismiss the benchmark then. Sure. Why not? You could dismiss the benchmark.
So you're dropping the benchmark.
Dropping the bench. I'm saying like, yeah, in my moral system, there's no issue with that. If you do a heinous act, you lose more
you're dropping
consideration.
the benchmark, like having achieved sentience and having once earned sentience. You're dropping that, like you don't have to like once achieve it.
Wait, no, I said you can devalue or dismiss the badge
I
if you
think
commit a
Ajax,
heinous
you see the
act.
problem because I think we understand this.
There isn't. I don't think there is a problem. I
Because here, so
explained it.
your entire
He
argument, it
understands.
has to be benchmark because the benchmark, right? Because otherwise, if it's not benchmark, that means that I lose the badge
I think you could
if I
lose
ever
the
lose
benchmark.
sentience. But you
I think
cannot
you'd lose
lose.
the benchmark.
I cannot lose the benchmark if it's a benchmark because that means I've earned it.
Wait,
And that's that.
no, I disagree. I think you could definitely lose a benchmark. If you're saying if you were going under the definition, a benchmark is just something you don't lose or you keep, right? A benchmark is just something you keep as you defined it, right? If you want to add further definition and context,
exactly, Ajax.
specifically
Ajax, right
under
now,
this, having the badge up is under the achievement, you keeping it for eternity. No, I disagree. The badge would not, under my view, the badge would not operate that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be arguing this.
so you wouldn't keep the badge, right?
That's no, and the badge is not equivalent to gaining sentience. It's just a moral consideration you get after gaining sentience. Yes.
If the badge operates in the principle, you know if you no longer follow each of the badge. So instead of reducing it or like calling it these weird things that make no sense, just lose the badge. You lose the badge.
If you want to say you lose the badge, whatever fits, whatever you can like make sense.
All right. So you agree with me saying losing the badge? So
If you want
no
to
longer
based on your definition, sure.
So if you can lose the badge, you
I've agreed
cannot
you can
lose
lose the
having
badge.
once achieved something because you've
And
already achieved.
I said the badge isn't equivalent to achieving sentience, but it's because you have achieved sentience you have the badge.
Oh my God! No!
I explained this to Ajax when you left, and he understood. This like for the past like 30 minutes, I've been clearly outlining that the badge is not the fact that
We've
you have gained
already
sentience
agreed that
because
they're
of it.
one in hand, that you cannot have one without the other.
I've never agreed to that. I disagree.
Oh my God! All right.
I think.
So now you're saying that you achieve sentience and you get a completely different badge.
Completely different badge? I don't think there's two badges.
No,
I've never
because
argued
because I earn sentience and then I get a badge for more consideration. I don't get a badge for having earned sentience, which is what I achieved. I get a badge for more consideration because I achieved sentience.
There's no two badges. It's just
It's
the
not
same
a weird
one.
argument at first, but
I guarantee you it was. I reworded it once in the middle, but I
wasn't.
made that very, very clear when I reworded.
Because this is an easy thing to understand. Had you said it like this, I would have
Hope so.
immediately
Would you have
understood
any?
what you were
Okay, just given this new context, maybe I misworded it. Maybe you misunderstood. With all possibilities in mind, going on the present, do you have any issue with that?
So I earn more consideration. I get sentience, and me having achieved it once gives me more consideration.
Yes. You gain the badge of moral consideration. Yes.
Well, you didn't say this earlier, because if we regress back, it wouldn't be coherent to say so. No, I'm just gonna think back so I can disprove this, because there was a reason it was never worded like this. Give me a second.
That's what way I think it has been, and then that's why I've been like sitting here. It's like thinking you've not understood my position. That's why I explained it to AJ, and he typed out your exact argument you've been using for the past half an hour. I explained it to him, and then he went like, "Oh, LMAO," because like, yeah, it's no. What is it? I got like 15 minutes on the clock. I have like 15 minutes on the
Well, now
clock.
I'll just argue like I'll just reduce this to insanity, because here's the problem with you just saying like, okay, I have achieved sentience, so let me give you this badge that's completely unrelated to it. Like, okay, so I've achieved sentience, so I now get a completely different badge. No, that has nothing to do with sentience. I just get this badge. Okay, so it's like saying, okay, so let's say I've made $1. So instead of giving you a badge for earning $1, I'll give you a badge for owning the White House. They're completely unrelated things.
I disagree.
You have to keep them together.
I'll explain why they're related. In my view, sentience grants you moral consideration. Like when something is sentient, you have moral consideration. So when you say that when you have achieved sentience, you maintain moral consideration. It's very related.
Okay, so that means that you achieve when you get a badge of sentience, and the sentience entails moral consideration. You cannot dismiss the sentience part of it, because the sentience is necessary for that. You can't just say you can't say because is just arbitrary. I can say, okay, I got this. I earned an achievement for buying a pair of earbuds, so now I get this badge for anything. I can say anything I want after. I can reduce it to insanity if I want to.
Wait.
Okay. So,
it'd only be reducing it to insanity because morals are subjective. You're just giving your own the moral system saying to reduce it to insanity.
Because your cause before it is not. The relationship is not coherent and it's not consistent, because you cannot achieve something and then what you get is just whatever, just arbitrary as fuck with like no reason. Like I bought this computer, so the badge I get is a badge that allows you to be fucking immortal. Like there's like I could say that
why it is
and it would be as logically consistent as what you're saying.
I'll explain why it is related.
So for what you're saying is you have to have sentience on the badge because you've achieved sentience. And having achieved sentience, this badge is you've achieved sentience.
Moral consideration.
But here, this is how you word it. This I'll write down. Yep. So we can look back on it later. This badge is sentience.
Badge is the fact. No, the badge is more consideration.
No. Because what have you achieved? Okay? When you give someone a badge, what have you done? You've achieved sentience. You've achieved sentience. But this sentience,
you get the badge because that was the whole argument we just had, and we moved on.
So this badge is achieved.